Selwyn were coming off the back of a win over Port Adelaide on Saturday night. We saw in that game that Marty Hall actually came out of it with a bit of an injury. Can you talk us through what he's dealing with?
Yeah, unfortunately for Marty, he suffered an injury to his thumb, and following some imagery, it's shown that he's got a fracture to his thumb that requires surgery. It's disappointing for Marty because he's played a great role for us over the last few weeks in the senior team, but hopefully he'll only miss the next 2 games and then look to be available as we come into our Anzac Eve game against Richmond.
And then we saw today training, Cade wasn't with the main group, he was more of that side rehab group. Can you talk us through what's happening with his knee?
Just to give him the most amount of time in preparation for the Adelaide game, which is a short turnaround, we chose to keep him away from the main group training session. So we'll just continue to assess him day to day, and hopefully Cade can be available for selection for this week's game.
And then everyone wants to know if Stephen May will be available off the back of that injury sustained last week. How's he tracking?
Yeah, Maisie trained on the weekend, completed a really great session. He then integrated into training today. Obviously it was a lighter session with the short turnaround, so we'll once again assess his availability on captain's run on Wednesday and be able to determine his availability from there.
Back in Melbourne, Loy Hunter, he's trying to return back from that calf injury. It looks like he's on track for a return soon.
Yeah, he's returned to full training as of last week. He'll full train again back in Melbourne this week and look to be available in the coming weeks.
Similarly, Daniel Turner with that hip injury, looks like he's integrating more into training.
Yeah, Daniel completed full training last week, same again this week, to look to be available for our VFL game against Port Melbourne next week.
And then Shane McAdam, he's here in Adelaide with us. He was full training today. How's he going through that hamstring injury?
Yeah, Shane's beginning to integrate into training with the team. We're continuing to build his integration, and he'll continue to train with the group as we build him into being available for selection in the coming weeks.